Conference. Coach will start us off with a quick opening statement. Please raise your hands for questions.
You know, unfortunately, last night, Emmett Gooden suffered a knee injury and won't be with us this year, and it's unfortunate for him and for a football team. But, you know, Emmett's a guy that's got another year, and he'll continue with going to school and get ready to come back next spring and next fall. You know, worked on our kicking game yesterday. It was good to see our punters, operation times and kicking the football. So done a nice job. We've had to do a lot of that, just trying to find guys, with punt return ability, guys that can do it in live situations. So we've created some competition there. You know, I think offensively, when we're consistent, we've had a lot of success here in camp. You know, I think the wide receiver guys, or wide receiver group, is a very mature group, continue to work hard every day. The guys, again, in the running back room continue to compete hard every single day. Got lots of competition up front, and got more bodies at tight end. So just got to find a little more consistency offensively. Defensively is kind of a totally different group. To me, not as many guys that have playing experience when you look up and down the roster. So, as long as you continue to install, and tomorrow's really our last major install day, a lot of these guys are swimming and, so as the install slows down, I'm sure a lot of these guys will speed up. With that, I'll take any questions.
Wes and Stephen David.
Jimmy, with that injury to Gooden, does that make y'all have to consider moving somebody else over there numbers-wise, or how?
No, we got we'll just move some guys up there. We've got 10 guys there right now, so working in the defensive line, and there's not a whole lot of difference in any of them. Some of them have played in some games, some of them hadn't. So they all have strengths and weaknesses, but most of them have very limited game experience.
Stephen David.
You kind of went over your defensive linemen just now, but how have they looked so far during practice from the ones who are still there? And is there any update on the Garland situation, or is that still in flux with him, the transfer portal?
Kind of in practice, you start with individual, and then you kind of piece together to a drill, whether it's a tray drill or half line or block progression. Right now these guys show a lot of promise during the drills. When you get to 11 on 11, there's more things flying around. Not been near or not had near the consistency that we need to have. And that will come with just more playing time, more practices. So we got to continue to put these guys in those situations and, put them out there. It's why they came here, for the opportunity to play, and they'll get it.
And with Garland, any update there? Or still?
No.
David, then Blaine.
Jimmy, with the inside linebackers, how would you describe what you've seen out of Henry To'o and J.J. Peterson this fall?
Well, J.J.'s still in a black jersey. He's right at, I guess this will probably be 4 months and 2 weeks, so he's about ready to go full contact, probably Monday or Tuesday of next week. Henry's a guy that things have come real easy to him, picks things up. Instinctive, can cover, fits the runs. It's what you're looking for as a linebacker. He's pretty advanced for a young guy at that position. He's capable of being a signal caller. He's a guy that can play all three downs, and he goes out there and works every day. He's a hard-working guy. He's tough. He's physical. So he's just got to continue to do that and work hard to improve every day.
Jeremy, with Emmett's injury, is that a torn ACL? And then Nathan Niehaus, didn't see him out there today. What's going on with him?
Yeah, Emmett tore his ACL, and he'll probably he's in, our classes don't end till Friday, so he's in a few hours right here, so we're going to let him finish up his classes, and then Matt will do surgery sometime next week, let him calm down a little bit. And Nathan Niehaus has left the team.
Or his decision on that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned the tight ends earlier, and one thing Dom Wood Anderson has said last season is, the blocking part of it was new to him. What have you seen in his improvement with the blocking aspect of that position?
Dom really in junior college didn't play a whole lot in the C area. He played mostly flexed out, so he doesn't shy away from it. He's a physical guy. Probably in our offense, tight end is the one place where the multiples might be the greatest, because you play a wide receiver position, you play there in the core, ask him to do a lot of different things. So, but he's done a really nice job. He's been a good leader with that group. So we've got competition there, and we got to find some guys behind him.
Jesse, then Grant.
First day of pads, Jeremy, what did you kind of think of the physicality and just kind of the effort there now that you guys it's truly playing football with full pads on?
We were in Shales yesterday, so or the last couple of days, right? So, we really hadn't changed the way we practiced. To me, there's been inconsistency on both sides of the ball. One day, to me, you see one group have a little more success, and the next day the other group. To me, we're looking for consistency. And when things aren't going the way we want it to go, we got to change that. I guess we got to put on more steam, and we got to learn to do that. So that's part of kind of creating the character of the team, or the character of a certain unit. And that starts with leadership, which I think we've got plenty of, and that's something that we've got to do, and they've got to exercise that a little bit.
How do you think Brandon Kennedy's a different player based on the time he's had to miss, the time he's been away? Do you think it's changed his approach to the game, the way he plays the game, or as a leader?
Well, I think he's very grateful for every opportunity that he gets to play. Unfortunately for Brandon, he has had several injuries over the years, but he's a guy that's very mature. He goes about his business like you would want one to do. Obviously he's graduated from school, fixing to get another degree, and he's in here every day. So he's hungry to get an opportunity to get back out there.
Jeremy, back here, Darrell Middleton. Just what have you seen from him so far through the first 5 days, and then also Kavaris Crouch? Has he kind of settled in at outside linebacker, or are you guys potentially looking at seeing what the best fit for him is long term still?
Well, Darrell's a big-bodied guy that has some length to him. He's one of those guys that it's day 4 of an install, and he's there's a lot being thrown at him, and and some of that has to do with the linebackers, right? They got to make the calls so you have an understanding. And when you're sitting there and your back's turned, there'll be a point in time that he won't need anybody to make any kind of verbal calls to him, because he will understand it himself. He can look at the formations, have an idea, this is what I got, right? But right now he's relying on somebody behind him to make the calls. So I'm sure there's some anxiety with that, and there's some times that we don't line up the correct way. But he's a guy that has ability to strike, has ability to rush the quarterback, and he's worked extremely hard since he's been here, and we're excited to have him. What was your other question?
Crouch, is he still in an outside
linebacker? It's only practice 4, but in the spring, he worked at our buck on 3rd down, so he worked on a lot of pass rush. Right now, he's learning a lot of the 1st and 2nd down stuff, and the big thing with him is playing on offensive tackles, just the difference in the size, and getting used to doing that. So, but he's another guy that his motor's always running, and he's flying around, and lots of times he ain't doing exactly what he's supposed to do, but he's a playmaker.
Last 2 questions, Corey and Austin.
Coach, to piggyback on the tight ends from earlier, I noticed Coach Niedermeyer out there really working on their blocking techniques with them. How much of a point of emphasis has that been for that group as a whole now that you guys have pads on and you're getting near full steam?
Well, it's been an emphasis since the first day we got here. There's lots of youth in that room. I mean, you look at our football team, with the exception of the wide receiver room, quarterback, and maybe a few positions on defense. But if you look at the depth at every position, we have lots of inexperience. Lots of guys hadn't played. So they're learning. They're learning the basic fundamentals of how we want them to do something. So, this is perfect for us that we've got fall camp right now, because we really don't need to sleep. We need to meet or practice or do something every day, even though that's against the rules, right? Or every hour. But it's not enough hours in the day right now. So, and our kids are looking at it like that. So we'll see lots of improvement from these guys as we continue to go.
Coach, just take me through what Darnell Wright's been like through the first 5 practices. What have you thought has done well? Where does he need to improve? And then Kayron Calvert as well.
Darnell's no different than most offensive linemen at their first college practices. An offensive line, it takes 5 guys to work together. And the defense lots of times can dictate your blocking assignments, whether they move around or they're in an even front, an odd front, or, a backer moves, to the end of the line. It changes your blocking scheme and calls. So, obviously he don't know all those yet, but when he knows what to do, you can see ability, and he flashes that. And, we just got to be patient with him and, have realistic expectations, and give the kid a chance to grow and develop as a player.
Why Kayron?
Kayron's a guy that I believe has really good ability. We're looking for consistency, and he knows that. So, he plays 2 or 3 plays really well, and then maybe not so much the next one, So we're looking for consistency with all of our offensive linemen and our whole football team. But he has really good talent. He's worked hard. He's a big-bodied guy, so he has ability, and we just got to find a way to make him play well.